at the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off that bye week, looking to improve to 6-1 on the season. They were watching the Carolina Panthers. They know what they have to do. So the Saints looking to take care of business. Bills coming off of a huge road win against Miami within the division a week ago, looking to make it 2 consecutive road victories. Let's talk about the game and see how it turned out. So Bills come into the game at 3-4. Saints come in at 5-1. Bills defense responds after opening play fumble. Sack pushes them back. So the Buffalo Bills fumble. Opening play. Thad Lewis running with the football, gets hit, ball comes out. Saints are in prime position to score. We're talking about the 30, maybe the 27-yard line. Buffalo gets a sack, which pushes the Saints out of, not out of field goal range, okay? But a little bit further than you would have liked this field goal to have been. Again, if you recover the football at the 25-yard line, you'd like to think that you'll pick up at least 6 or 7 yards, setting up 3rd and short. And then if you don't make it, you got to kick the field goal. So that sack pushed this back to a 47-yard field goal attempt that Garrett Hartley misses. So Bills dodge a bullet right off the bat. So they're feeling good about themselves. And with that 47-yard miss, you get good field position. So the Bills take that field position and use it to miss their own field goal. They send Dan Carpenter out. He pushes a field goal wide right. And so it's been 2 missed field goals for both teams early on in this football game. Then a big play for the New Orleans Saints, and this defense has been generating a lot of those this season. They've been invigorated, and I always feel like when you switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense, there is a mandatory year of struggle. A lot of guys needing to make that adjustment. You don't have all the parts that you need, but it seems like this New Orleans Saints defense had all of the parts already, and it makes sense because I felt like Cam Jordan, when he came into the league, was a 3-4 defensive end. He wasn't a 4-3 defensive end. And so it seems like all of these pieces are starting to fit into place. Julian Gillette, to me, felt like an outside rusher in a 3-4 defense. So it seems like maybe they do have the pieces. And they fit right in, and they've been going right along in this 3-4 defense under Rob Ryan. And Cam Jordan continues to shine this season as he generates a sack, forced fumble, and he recovers it himself. So he gets the trifecta. Sack, forced fumble, and he gets the recovery, which leads to Breeze to Lance Moore, touchdown hookup at 7-0 New Orleans. Welcome back, Lance Moore. New Orleans has missed this guy, and you see the impact that he has right away. 7-0 New Orleans on top of the Buffalo Bills early in this football game. After a pair of Breeze false start penalties, Hartley misses another field goal, this time from 37 yards. So Saints get the football back after the Bills have to punt. They push the football down the field. They get pretty close to that threatening zone, that red zone, you know, when they start looking for Jimmy Graham or Colston, when they get close enough to just throw it up. Breeze gets a couple of false start penalties. They called him for, calling for the football and making animated gestures. So that was 2 of those. Pushed him back a little bit, but look, 37 yards. You got to make that. That's a makeable. That's a guaranteed make in this league. It's supposed to be at least. You want your kicker from 30 to 39 to be 100% on the season. It's when you start getting those 49s and those 52s, that's when you expect a miss here and there. But 37 is inexcusable, especially when you're kicking inside of a controlled climate like a dome in New Orleans. Unexcusable. So Hartley is now 0 for 2 on the day. It's still a 7-0 lead, but this could be a 13-3 or a 13-0 lead if Hartley makes his field goals. So Saints, again, allowing the Bills to dodge another bullet. So this game to me for the Saints early on, very sloppy. A lot of penalties, missed opportunities. If this was a different team, this could have been a loss. You can't afford to miss opportunities. And again, coming off of a bye week, I don't know if that was a little bit of the rust factor or not, but that's not an excuse for me. You're supposed to be well rested, not rusty when you come off of a bye week. Bills take advantage this time as Lewis connects with Stevie Johnson in the end zone to knot it up at 7. So you keep making mistakes in the National Football League. Trust me, teams are going to take advantage of those mistakes. And that's what happened here. Now it's a knotted up game at 7. And we got a new ball game now, 7-7. Buffalo takes the lead on a Carpenter field goal on Chandler-dominated drive, 10-7 Buffalo. I love Scott Chandler. I swear, he's one of those Heath Miller type of tight ends, not going to burn you with speed. More like Jason Witten. He's going to find a way to get open. And if you throw it in his general vicinity, Scott Chandler is going to catch the football. I love this guy, and he dominated this drive. 3 catches on this drive, set up a field goal. Bills take the lead 10-7. Blown coverage leaves Kenny Stills free for a 69-yard touchdown strike, 14-10 New Orleans. That lead was short-lived by Buffalo. They get on offense in about 2 plays into that New Orleans Saints drive after they take the lead. Kenny Stills, and I don't know what happened, who was responsible for Kenny Stills on this play. I can assure you of this. It wasn't supposed to be Jerry Hughes. That's for certain, because that's who was trailing him on this play about 7 yards behind Kenny Stills. There's no way Jerry Hughes, a outside linebacker / defensive end hybrid, is supposed to be running 50 yards down the field with Kenny Stills. It was a blown assignment. Something went wrong. Anyway, doesn't matter. Your end result, 69-yard TD strike from Breeze to Kenny Stills. It's now 14-10. And again, if you're Buffalo, you're on the road. You can't afford to make mistakes like this one. You already missed a field goal, missed an opportunity to put points on the board, and you've gotten away. You've been lucky in this game. You've been very fortunate. Couple of Breeze penalties, moved them back. They missed 2 field goals. So you could have been out of this game early on, but here's an opportunity to take the lead for you to settle in, make some plays happen. Instead, you give up a touchdown and give the lead right back to the Saints. It's 14-10. Super Mario grabs the face mask of Drew Brees, negating an INT by Leotis McKelvin, which allows Brees to find the end zone to Jimmy Graham. It's 21-10. Again, you're on the road. Tough opponent in the New Orleans Saints. They're coming off their bye week. They don't need any help. None of your help. They're already good enough. Hey, 5-1 football team here. So that's an alert to you. If you didn't know, they're already 5-1. They're at home. They're undefeated at home. They're coming off a bye week. They do not need your assistance. Okay? You need all the help you can get, not the Saints. So grabbing Drew Brees' face mask when Leotis McKelvin decides to pick it off, not a good idea. Not a good idea. You take that interception, you give the football back to the Saints. Come on, what do you think they're going to do when they're already in the red zone? That pick by Leotis McKelvin was in the end zone, negating that pick and giving it back to Brees, set up Brees to Jimmy Graham, 21-10. Now you're in the danger zone. You're on the road. This is a high-powered offense in the New Orleans Saints. Now you are in the danger zone. Danger, 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 Robinson. You're in the danger zone now. Be careful. Tread lightly. More Graham, another TD, 28-10. Now you are officially being blown out. 28-10. You're on the road. You're reeling. That was that knockout blow. But I didn't think that you were dead quite yet. 18 points. I've seen you guys come back from bigger deficits than this season. So I said, hey, maybe if they can get a score, get a stop, maybe force a turnover, they're not done yet. Scott Chandler flags for holding on huge TJ Graham TD, which is exactly what the doctor ordered, which is exactly what the Bills needed at that time, down 28-10. However, 2 personal foul penalties on the Saints on that same drive leads to a Fred Jackson touchdown on a 1-yard TD run. It's 28-17. So now 2-score game. You're right back where you need to be. Now you need to stop. Now you need to get the football back. I don't care if it's a turnover or a stop. Stop the Saints from scoring. And they don't even need to get a field goal. If at all possible, stop them cold turkey. No points. Get the football back. Get something. A field goal, a touchdown, and you're right back in this football game. Keenan Lewis, interception, which means you got to stop defensively, which is what you needed. But Keenan Lewis picks off Bad Lewis, which leads to the dagger in this football game. Drew Brees on 3rd and long scrambles out under duress. He launches it about 55 yards into the end zone. One-on-one coverage with Nikel Roby and the star of this game, Kenny Stills. Guess who won that matchup? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Nikel Roby. Stills comes down with the football. It's 35-17, your final score of this football game. Dagger. Game over. Saints get it done at home in the Superdome off the bye. Go to 6-1 on the season with a 35-17 victory. Valiant effort by the Bills, but too many mistakes on the road and not enough offensive firepower in this game for the Bills. They don't get it done in this game. They go to 3-5 on the season. Look, the Saints are a really good team, and a lot of people are overlooking the Saints. Maybe because we're not seeing what we normally see, and that's a good thing if you're a Saints fan. Play defense. Whole teams. Again, this is their sixth game holding an opponent under 20 points. The only team that was able to get up over 20 points on them was the New England Patriots in New England. So this Saints defense has been suffocating this year, stopping opponents from scoring points, and they've been scoring points themselves. So they're doing it the right way. Scoring points, they can run the football, and they can stop you from scoring points. This Saints team is dangerous. Look out for the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, Bills are still one of these teams trying to find their footing. First-year head coach. They're going to win some games, surprise some teams. They're going to lose their fair share of ball games. This is a team that is dangerous. You play them in Buffalo, you got to watch out. But on the road, they're still learning. There's still some growing pains there. So Bills gave it a run, but they were no match for the New Orleans Saints. Saints get it done in week number 8. So that's going to do it for this wrap-up of Bills at Saints. Come back as I continue to break down week number 8, the National Football League. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the L.A.B. See you next time. And, of course, I'll be back to break down some more NFL action.